Asher Mir has returned in Lightfall, secret messages and appearance blasted throughout the Vex network. With this final week in the Avalon quest, we received new dialogue that explains Asher's true purpose according to him, a full depiction of the Veil thanks to his simulations, and the truth about the final shape. Welcome Guardians, today let's discuss Asher's secrets in the Vex network and where it may lead in coming seasons. Asher Mir has tons of history, but let's start right up near season of the Arrivals. Asher had always been researching the Vex and his Pyramidion, but around this time he would learn the Darkness was interested in the Vex. And that's a pretty scary thought. What would the Witness's plan with the Vex be? Try and get to this final shape sooner, or maybe even trying to find the Veil through simulations? This is when Asher really began to study the Darkness alongside the Vex. He would enter the Pyramidion and pull the lake down upon himself, becoming. Years pass and the story continues as you know it. Asher tries to speak and contact us in multiple ways, getting our attention in a harpy form and relaying some Morse code. In Lightfall, as we explore Neomuna and the Vex network connected to parts of it, Asher would watch and contact us once more, leading us to the European Dead Zone where we find a friendly harpy and enter the Vex network. Mithrax and the Guardian pursue. The first week we work through the network as Mithrax tries to make sense of all of this. Someone inside the network, deep inside of it, Asher, is contacting us, and Mithrax says it's from someplace they shouldn't and that it pains them to communicate with us.
The path is open to you. You did not splice your way inside. How is this possible? You enter the digitized core of the Vex network. You are in great danger, and yet I detect a faint signal deep within, asking, no, demanding that you explore further. The signal comes from the radiolaria flowing around us, truly through the entire Vex network itself. It is not a voice, only minute fluctuations in the radiolarian microlattice. If it speaks again, I will attempt to translate. The hostile Vex and the network itself are at odds. This is most unusual. They should be in perfect alignment. The signal that beckons you. If I am interpreting it correctly, it calls out for assistance. You now hold forbidden data meant for deletion. The signal cries out. This data is what it desires.
This Asher Mir required more data, and as we fight through, we grant that. The final boss is the repurposed Brachion Mind, created to hunt Asher and stop his advance in the network. From the lore tab of the Vex Caliber, we learn that Asher Mir is 25% converted. Over various weeks, we assist him in acquiring more data, and in the final week, we get some pretty crazy revelations.
There is a fragment of data here, sent from a Vex Pyramidion. The Vex variable, whose behavior interests them. It cannot be simulated or predicted. Its actions are, at times, fiercely irrational. The variable draws close. It becomes part of the equation. It demands quadratic reciprocity. And then, there is only Vex. The variable is no more. But after countless simulations, hypothesizing on the true nature of the pyramids, this is a schematic for a receiver that could override a Vex harpy. And here are personal messages, letters composed but unable to be sent. There are names here. Yours is among them. I see Gallant and Mystic. They must be Ikora and Eris. But who is Vuvuzela? The signal abruptly revoked my access. How regrettable. The signal. Oh, a burst of irritability. No, it is no simple signal. It is the great Asher Mir. The designation means nothing to me, Guardian. Someone from your many travels, perhaps. The Vex network reforms its defenses. It protects knowledge earned through endless simulations. You and Asher Mir must work together once more, attacking from the inside and out. The Vex cannot stand against you both. An entity consumed by radiolaria would find themselves converted into raw resources. Their cells would be rewritten by the Vex. But not even that fate would explain Asher Mir's ability to exist within the network itself. Asher Mir is examining the reclaimed data. It is delighted. It says the conclusion awaits at the shores of a lake. My apologies, this must be a metaphor. Asher Mir assures me it is not a metaphor. Guardian, I despair. Somewhere among the Vex radiolaria is a brilliant consciousness. How does one rescue a single drop from an endless sea? This is the end of Brachyon. May this defeat last through all simulations.
In the end, Asher does not want to be rescued, but with the data we helped retrieve, he would go deeper into the Vex network. He leaves some of this information to us and doesn't necessarily die, but becomes once more, diving deeper to uncover the secrets of the Vex and how they operate.
Asher Mir, where are you? Your foes lie slain. Come, join us. What? Asher Mir does not desire rescue, only access. It will use the data you recovered to open a path to the deepest core of the Nexus. There it will immerse itself in infinite knowledge. It seeks to become one with the truth. Wait, gentle voice. You will lose yourself in the answers beyond. Asher Mir will be no more. It responds to my warning and calls me an anatomical region. It says, Asher Mir will not become the truth. The truth will become Asher Mir. And it is gone. Vanished into the network. I no longer feel its presence. May the light guide you on your journey, brave one. It was an honor to know you.
His parting message is also seen as a warning though. From the scribe tray shell we can see this lore. You get this classified ghost shell from completing 3 legend runs and getting your 3 catalysts in the Avalon mission. The journey was instantaneous. Such was the force of the informational mass that pulled the signal into the radiolarian vortex at the heart of the Vex network. Decompiled data from untold eons of simulations poured into the signal, fitting it to capacity. A single mind filled with voices, billions of voices, each telling their story, now screaming them. They surged in endlessly, straining the signal's parameters, eroding, overwriting. There was no time to adapt. A picosecond later, there was nothing left of the signal but a dim ripple of spite. And all the stories have the same ending, shouted in a single voice, the toll of the bell that heralds the end of time. It is as I said all along, the signal thought bitterly as it unspooled into the data stream. No one can stop it. There is no sense in even trying. So as you guessed it, that was talking about Asher unspooling himself into this network, basically erasing himself and saying it's not even worth it. The final shape is going to happen. We can't stop anything. Asher's simulations tell him the final shape is inevitable. No matter what he tuned or tried to change, it would always take shape. Asher becomes and ceases to exist as far as we know. Maybe he's still trying to learn more, or he just gives up, realizing this isn't possible. The Vex cannot simulate paracausality. In the end, Asher studied both Vex and the darkness inside the network and made his own simulations, it would seem, to confirm the existence of this veil, also a paracausal object much like we are. So the Vex couldn't simulate Guardians and paracausality, but it seems that Asher could.
which confirmed the existence of this fantastic object. As the pyramids examined the Vex in turn observed the pyramids. And Asher Mir studied both. But the paracausal cannot be predicted. Did Asher Mir perform these simulations manually? For one mortal intelligence to create this would be impossible. This is why Asher Mir merged with the Vex. This study demanded its sacrifice. Everything. We must not forget what we have been shown.
So Asher Mir is a madman. He dives deep into the network, making all these simulations himself, becoming part of the network to acquire more data, and in the end says the final shape is inevitable. No matter what we do, it's going to happen, and he essentially ceases to exist. In my opinion, this is just the start for Asher Mir. If we see a season revolving around him, maybe, towards the end of this year, he can come back. I'm sure he's acquired tons of knowledge in all the time he's been in this Vex network, but for now, we're kind of left on a cliffhanger. This mission was super cool. It's also fun to see the little Easter eggs. If you go around to different rooms with the Vex caliber and go through some of the Vex shields, you can find some more friendly Vex. I believe their names are different Greek symbols and things like that, and if you put them all together, they spell out Mir, which is a nice little Easter egg. Asher has achieved something that no character in Destiny ever has before, at least from the human side of things. And if the darkness was leaning into and studying the Vex, perhaps the Witness, Asher might have a way to help us stop that in the coming seasons. Anyway, Guardians, that's all we got for today's video. Let me know your thoughts about all of this in the comments down below. Will we see Asher in a future season? And how do you think the Vex will play into this final shape? If you'd like to see some more Destiny lore and mysteries just like this video, please be sure to subscribe to the channel. Anyway, I thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next video.